Hi, Latifa. So, more essays from you. Let's take a look here. This is about going abroad with your family. Is it positive or negative? To what extent do you support this? Fabulous. Let's see what you said here. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether going on a business trip with family has been positive. Not has been, but is a positive or negative trend. While there are certainly valid arguments to the contrary, I personally believe it is a negative trend. I like that sentence. That's nice. This essay will discuss both sides using examples from the Azerbaijan Psychological Institutes. Okay. Is there more than one institute? And Times Magazine to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Here, don't forget your S and put a full stop. Okay. To begin with, there is ample evidence that taking family on work travel is not reasonable, yet some people prefer that. The main reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, taking family is twofold. Firstly, comma, not dash. Taking family on international business travel. We don't say an international travel. We say on international travel without the article. Leads to extra financial burdens for the family, as most companies do not cover personal expenses. Thus, family has to pay more, which could affect budget of families. Secondly, comma, the time period for business trips is usually limited, so families are less likely to have sufficient time to do a great many activities due to the short time. Okay. For instance, comma, a recent study published in the Times newspaper reported, don't forget that word there, that taking family on a business trip affects careful here with your grammar, that taking family on a business trip negatively affects the income of families and are what's less enjoyable and is less enjoyable, because your subject here is taking family on business trips. Okay? So it's one thing, so it is less enjoyable. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that it is absurd going on a trip with families. All right, don't forget your full stop. And also, I'm not a huge fan of the word absurd. I mean, it's perhaps it's not advisable. Perhaps it's not recommended. So you could have used one of those words, but I think absurd is a little bit too much of a personal judgment here. It's a little too strong. I think you're saying basically that it's ridiculous to do this, which is maybe a little too much. Okay? Alrighty, so let's look at your next paragraph. On the other hand, going on a trip together with your loved ones, whether it is a business trip or leisure trip, is such a noteworthy opportunity if money is no object. This is largely because executives and managers are more likely to be preoccupied with their work responsibilities. For this reason, they are less likely to spend quality time together with their family, and this is why they can make more quality time together for some leisure activities while they are on a trip, and it will definitely enhance their relationships and build fun and durable relationships which will last forever. Okay. A couple of things here. So up to here you were fine, and then here you said that they are preoccupied with their work responsibilities. I was confused. I thought, I mean, you mean in general. Okay, my understanding is you mean in general they're always very busy, therefore it is unlikely that they have time to go on trips with their family, therefore these business trips are a perfect opportunity for them to spend time in a lovely location with their family. So if you had made it a little more clear, it would have been better. Let's see. But then I kind of understood. But this sentence, this one here, was just really too long. Look at it. So I understood what you were saying, but you needed to clean it up a little bit to make it not so long, really. It's just too long. And it kind of lost meaning. All right, so let's move on. However, frequent international work travel apart from families, I think you mean away from families, okay, offers poor work-life balance and creates a significant impact on families. For example, recent empirical A recent article, not empirical article. For example, a recent article published by the Azerbaijan Psychological Institute demonstrated that business travel is more stressful for the ones with families, and it could lead to family conflicts and stress. For this reason, if those trips are taken with families, such problems could easily be avoided. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that by attending a business trip, Therefore, it is conclusively clear that attending a business trip has so much emotional value for families which cannot be overstated, and mentioned adversities can be avoided. All right, that's a little awkward. Mentioned adversities can be avoided. All right, to conclude from the aforementioned arguments, I firmly believe that if people continue going on a business trip with their family, there could be serious implications. Okay. So this is the paragraph talking about the positives. You said that it gives families to spend time together, whereas they otherwise wouldn't. You also said that if I understand this, business travel is really stressful. So if you go with your family, you have less stress. That's kind of what I understood. All right. So, but some of it was unclear. You can see that I still have to work through some of the language here and some of your ideas. You developed them and you were on topic. I know that's what you were worried about in your email, but no, you developed it. I mean, you were on topic. And what you said was fine. It's just the way you expressed some of these ideas was a little awkward. Now, let's talk about something else. You said it's a negative trend. You talked about the negatives here. You talked about the positives here. This isn't the most logical way to do your paragraphs. I would really advise you to reverse the order. So talk about the side that you don't really support. And then at the end, talk about the side you do support. Because look what happened here. And this is the second thing. This paragraph about the side that you don't support is really huge. Like, it's considerably longer than the one that you supposedly do support. And then it comes second. And so all of this argument in favor of these business trips and the fact that you put it second closer to conclusion, I literally was expecting your conclusion to say that, oh, traveling with your family is great. And then I read this and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you said in the beginning. So basically it's a good idea to reverse these, because you want to put the side that you support last, so it's kind of more closely aligned with your conclusion, okay? And also, I would not spend more time talking about the side that you don't support than the side that you do support, okay? So a few things to keep in mind, but a lot of it was good. Also, there was a lot of error with punctuation. You could see that I kept correcting some of that, so please be careful with your punctuation. Okay, let's see. So here we've got I don't know what happened with your image here, but that's all right. We've got the image for rainfall in the UK, so let's see what you said. All right, so let's take a look at your task one. Your task one. A glance at the line graph shows data on the rate of rainfall in 3 countries, England, Scotland, and Wales, for 1 year starting from January to December in 2018. It is apparent from the information supplied that the rates of rainfall in England were the highest, because you used the word rates. So the rates were the highest, whereas they were the lowest in Scotland over the period given. Also noteworthy, which is usually one word, is the fact that the amount of rainfall in the 3 countries was the same in July. I don't think that's entirely true. I don't think they all had the same rainfall. Now look at this. You can just barely see it. But in July, they didn't all have the same rainfall. In fact, I can't remember. Is this Wales? That was the highest, and then this was a little less. But this one is considerably lower, okay? I mean, it's all over 100. It's all between 100 and 150. But I don't think it's entirely accurate to say that they all had the same rainfall, okay? Alrighty, so let's move on. Okay. Increasing from approximately 110 ml in January to 115 in February, England's rainfall rate then plunged to just under 90 in March, capital M. This was followed by a period of slight increase in May before dropping to less than 70 in May. How does that work? An increase in May, dropping in May. That's confusing. The latter half of the year brought a sustained increase, reaching over 110 in December. In Scotland, the amount of rainfall was recorded just under 120, which declined exponentially to its lowest point to 20 in the next month and rocketed to its highest in March. Okay. The amount of rain in April was under 50, and the following month saw a gradual climb before, you don't need a comma here, before dropping sharply to somewhere in the vicinity of 50 in November. At the end of the year, it remained at over, well, it didn't remain. You really want to say that since it was all the way down to 50, you want to say it increased to over 100, okay? As shown in the figure, the rainfall rates, know that. The rainfall rates of Wales in January were less than 50 ml, and then after there was a slight growth or increase in the following month before dropping to its lowest point to over 20. The next 2 months saw a rapid increase, reaching its highest point to 130 in July. The amount of rainfall remained constant between August and October, capitalized August, followed by marked increase to just over 100 before dipping to 50 ml at the end of the year. Okay, you did something I liked here. I liked that you had a paragraph each for each country. That was fine. I too think that that this is one way to do it and that it's appropriate. I also liked that you talked about the beginning and the end of each country. That was good because those are important points. I mean, it's a story, and so you're telling us a story by giving us the beginning and the end. That was good. I do feel like you may have had some information which wasn't totally necessary. I would have liked to see this in general a little shorter. In fact, I want to do a really fast word count. Let's see. Yeah, it's 309 words, so that's a lot. Now, of course, there is no word maximum, but were you able to finish this in under 20 minutes? Because that's a lot of words. I think a good place to be is somewhere around 200, maybe like 220 max, but you don't want to go really over that. And that's kind of what I felt like. I felt like you maybe talked about some stuff that you didn't really need to. Now, as you saw here, you didn't, you had I don't know what happened here with not being able to include, let me see if I can somehow do it. Maybe I can't. But essentially, if you've heard any of the other corrections I've done for this particular essay, you'll see that there's pretty much like 15 data points you need to mention. You need to mention the peaks, you need to mention the lows, and the beginning and the end. So it turns out that you need about 15 pieces of data throughout this answer, and you can kind of talk about them briefly so you're not going overboard like with so many words. So that's something to think about. I wanted to see this condensed a little bit, just shortened. Maybe you could have left out some stuff here, okay? But and generally you did a nice job, little grammar things, all right? So be careful with those. Okay, so let's see more work from you, and good job with this. Keep working hard. I'm seeing improvement, so good job. Let's see what you write for us the next time.